Hey YouTube, what's up? Today I'm going to show you a really quick way to tint your windows in your car. This would be handy if you've bought a new car and you're trying to decide whether or not you actually want to go through with getting them tinted and to get an idea of how the car will look after it's done. So the first thing you're going to want to do in Photoshop is open up the picture. Usually I like to make a duplicate copy. And then you want to come up here and select your marquee tool. Select the Polygonal lasso tool. This will allow you to do straight line clicks. You could use the magnetic one, but sometimes if the lines are not straight or if it gets confused, it makes it more difficult. And all you're going to do is start a point and click. And I find that the Polygonal lasso tool allows you to follow those straight lines of the car very easily, whereas the magnetic one you wouldn't get as smooth a line, or even the basic lasso tool. Most of the cars have these nice straight sections that you can click. For parts where I just went through there where there's the curve, just do a few extra clicks. When you get to the end point, you're going to notice that there's a little loop that starts in the corner of the tool. That means that you can close off the mask. So you click on that, you'll see the dotted line outlined area. If you hold down the shift key, you can actually start another section. So say you wanted to tint this back window here as well. You'd only hold it down once for the first click, and then you're actually adding to the selection at this point. Now because this window here has a black outline, it's not as important because the part of the window that would actually show the tint would only be the clear portion. And again, I get the little closed loop, click on the button, and the last window would be the little front one here. And I would suggest do all the windows the same tint, but if you wanted to split it up, you could definitely do that by simply making one section, closing it off, and then skipping to the last part of this tutorial. So now that I've got all three sections selected, what you can do is go up to Image, Adjustments, and the Exposure. You take the exposure slider and slide it down. And the lower you go, the darker it will be. So you could black it out completely, keeping in mind that when you do the exposure adjustment, it's actually changing the exposure brightness of the photo. So if you were to go all the way down flat, that wouldn't look right because then it looks like you've just done an overlay and painted black over top. You definitely want to have some transparency. If the car was sitting on this cliff with bright sky behind it, regardless of what tint you had that would be street legal, you would see something through there. So I tend to use somewhere around here for my exposure adjustment. Click on OK. And if you just click on the square marquee tool and click anywhere, you can back out and you can see your car with tinted windows.